got our brewer's permit in January 2014, and started brewing beer. So, and one of the things that makes us different is we're a winery and a brewery. We make beer and cider and mead and wine. This is all 3-barrel system, and the mash tun is 120 gallons, the boil kettle is 150 gallons.
Wow. Some serious.
The dream.
The dream.
I mean, I would say we're very much on the huge home brewer, incredibly tiny micro scale. I think the next smallest guy out here is running, I think, a 7-barrel system. And that is super cool. I wish someday maybe we'll have one, but I think I really enjoy the small batch process a lot more than the whole production end of things.
Well, it gives you more opportunities to experiment.
Yeah, I really would say my passion is always creating new things all the time. So I don't know that we'll ever make a 100-barrel batch of beer or anything like that.
It took us months to make a gallon.
Yeah.
It also took 3 pounds of honey, which is a bunch. How do you brew mead every week?
Well, we don't. The mead takes us about 6 weeks.
Okay, that makes me feel slightly better.
Well, that's along our recipe took. It was just, we wanted to see what would happen
that's true. Yeah.
after 6. So we opened one after 6 weeks, then we waited 8 months for the other recipe to see what would happen.
Yeah. I think a lot of the advantages I have in here is obviously exact temperature control, and a little bit of winemaking knowledge of the years I spent making wine. And actually, I think when you combine the winemaking and the beer making, you make a pretty good cut at making mead, because you're used to nutrient additions, you're used to the temperature schedules, you're used to the acidity you're looking for the SO2 you're looking for. So you have a lot of things that a lot of people that just go from making mead from making beer, and they think, oh, I'm just going to put honey in a jar and add some water and add yeast,
for the best.
and we're done. And that will come out fine. It'll come out fine. It's just going to take 6 months for the yeast to clean up the stuff it did. The yeast get unhappy, so they make stuff you don't like. But you give it time, it'll clean itself back up again. So the main reason it takes longer on a home scale is most of the guys have made the yeast unhappy to start with.
Yeah.
So if you keep them happy the whole way through, there's much less of that stuff to clean up. It only takes 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah,
That's why yeast makes a happy beer.
Sure. I was shocked at how much the learning curve was different on making mead from making beer. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's all very similar skill sets.
But I mean, even different beers have different skill sets and different things you need to do. So no 2 beers are alike. You can even take the same recipe and brew it in a slightly different way, and then it'll taste completely different.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You don't have like that 100% control.
Exactly. What recipe are you working on right now?
So this is our Fungal coffee lager, which is really kind of become one of my favorites. I got to grab something out here real quick. Sorry.
I'll just follow you.
I have never been I've never been a coffee guy in my life. Sure. I've always thought coffee was the most disgusting thing ever.
Oh man, you're breaking my heart. Breaking my heart.
Until one day I tried it in beer and I thought, wow, well, that's how you do coffee.
Yeah, absolutely. Coffee beer is amazing.
And so we've started, most of our coffee beers, we actually make the beer to a finished product and actually cold brew coffee into the finished beer.
Oh God.
So we're never actually introducing any water or reducing the alcohol content or anything. We're just using finished beer to make cold brew coffee.
Oh God.
I never thought of that.
That is awesome.
So we typically have 2 or 3 coffee beers on tap because I've just decided I really enjoy how the flavors play together. So.
Can't wait to try one.
Do you have a minute? Could you walk us
Yeah,
through
so right now, we're just starting our sparge process.
Okay.
And what I'm trying to do right now is match the volume of water that's flowing into the mash tun with the volume of water that's flowing into the boil pail.
Okay.
We're going to collect about 117 gallons of wort, and right about 40, we'll turn our boiler on and start heating that up so that as we near the end of our sparge, our boil will start.
So for some of our people who are not as well versed on making beer, what is the wort?
The simplest thing I think of is it's like making tea.
Sure.
If you take a tea bag and you steep it in a glass of hot water, when you pull the tea bag out, you have tea. And really, that's what's involved in making beer. Only then you take that tea and you boil it and add hops, and then add yeast and ferment it. And it tastes way better when you're done.
I once had a home brewer tell me that brewers don't make beer, brewers make wort, and yeast makes beer.
Yeah, I think there's a good deal of truth in that. I think that the brewer's job is to make the wort as clean as possible, but then you also have to keep the yeast as happy as possible, even after you're done.
Yeah, temperature control and make sure that
Once you make
sunlight.
once you make them unhappy, they do stuff you don't like.
Yeah.
That happened to us.
we had one of those.
It happens to everyone eventually, and most often, most guys that when they first start, when your first batch of beer usually tastes not terribly good.
It wasn't bad.
It was our second batch that went weird on us.
Our first batch was good. Our second batch was bad.
Yeah.
I'm like, we thought we understood things.
We did not.
We already did it once.
Well, I think the funny thing on learning to brew is when you first start, you feel it's so overly complicated, and you get so wrapped up with so many things that really don't mean anything.
Is that the truth?
Yeah.
And then as you get better at it, it just seems
Such is life.
seems so simple, seems so natural, seems like you do it. But still, I'm 20 years into this, and I'm still learning about brewing every day.
Yeah.
There's not a day goes by that I'm not looking up something, reading something, figuring something new out. Trying to listen to other people and their experiences.
Well, that's what I love so much about how much craft beer and homebrewing is exploding across the country, because there is all of that more opportunities to experiment, to talk to other people that have tried other things, or to do something completely weird and that you wouldn't find 20 years ago from a massive distributor.
Oh yeah.
Well, and I think the American public kind of got misled over the last 100 years
Yes,
on
prohibition.
on what beer was.
Yeah.
The American public still thinks of beer as strictly the traditional German purity law. But when you look back through history of how beer started, it wasn't until relatively recently that hops were even a part of beer.
Oh yeah.
And it was relatively common to have fruit and all kinds of things in the mash. And so I think what we're seeing now is craft brewers are returning to what beer always was, which was some experiment to make an alcoholic beverage that you can enjoy and have a pint of.
Sure. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I like that. I like it. Experiment to make an alcoholic beverage that you can enjoy and have a pint of.